afternoon, everyone. It's Sal Straight Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Guys, it's been a very, very monumental day. Well, you know what? It's been a little bit crazy, hasn't it? Manchester United have sacked Erik ten Hag, as we know, as reported earlier on Sal Reacts. Manchester United have finally lost patience with Erik ten Hag, and he has been sacked as Manchester United, with Ruud van Nistelrooy set to be employed as interim manager for the time being. Now, look, you know what? I'm never going to celebrate a manager being sacked. That's not what I do. You know, I don't do them sort of things. As a Manchester United fan, I don't believe we should be happy or relieved or, you know what, celebrating a Manchester United manager being sacked. Although we do pick out the awful people from the nice people, don't we, at times like this? When you start seeing the Twitter reactions, you start seeing people reacting to the news and stuff like that, people celebrating, people getting giddy, you know what I mean? I mean, very sad existence. If you tell me, if you ask me, it's a very sad existence, and they must be very unhappy with their lives. But I just want to say that I want to wish Erik ten Hag the best of luck in his future endeavors. He came into this club with lots of potential, lots of belief. Fans wanted him. The majority of the fans wanted him. Of course, there was Pochettino linked with Manchester United, and the majority of the fans wanted him. He was the most sought-after manager in Europe at the time. And you know what? He's come to Manchester United. He's won us 2 trophies. He got us to 2 finals, you know, as well. And, you know, we have to give him credit. We have to give him credit. We cannot just dismiss Erik ten Hag as, you know what, a complete disaster, because at the end of the day, there were mitigating circumstances in regards to his tenure. Of course, the Jadon Sancho rubbish, you know what, that rubbish piece of crap that he is. We've also had people, you know what, the Rashford situation, the Cristiano Ronaldo situation. We had that as well. We had obviously the Greenwood situation, the Anthony situation, the Maguire situation, and as well as the mounting injuries that occurred last season. Now, this season was a new leaf, and I did say before that I'm going to give him until Halloween. Lo and behold, it has happened at Halloween, right? And losing to West Ham was the final nail in the coffin for me. He shouldn't be losing to games like that against the likes of West Ham United at home, and that is where the line stops. But it's not just about West Ham; it's about the results this season in general, you know. But what is fickle about football? You know, if Dalot puts away the open goal, he will still be manager of Manchester United. It's weird how football works, isn't it? It's strange how football works. But unfortunately, that is just how the cookie crumbles in regards to the world of football. And he will move on. He will get his payment. He will get his 17 million. And you know what? He'll probably get a big job as well. You know, Ajax might want him back. Do you know what I mean? And he'll get 100 million from there too. So at the end of the day, you know what? It's not all doom and gloom for Erik ten Hag. I did want it to work with Erik ten Hag. I did like Erik ten Hag. I liked his philosophies, right? But unfortunately, it's just not worked out for him. Whatever it is, whether the injuries, whether the suspensions, whether the on-field issues, there's always been something going on in regards to Erik ten Hag. You know, and you know what? We have to move on, to be honest with you. We have to move on. Let's go to some of your comments, guys. Absolutely. So relieved Erik ten Hag got sacked. Kenny, I'll be honest with you, my friend. If you want to be a Manchester United fan, right? I'm not here to be the fan police, right? But what I would say is that learn about our history, right? I know you're only about 15, but learn about our history, no offense, and don't be saying relieved and happy and think. It's not great. It's not good news. You know, at the end of the day, this is not good for Manchester United. We're becoming a sacking club. How is that good? You know, what you're going to say when the next manager comes and he's still got the same players there to deal with? Come on, Ken. Come on, Ken. You know what? I'm going to have to educate some people. Kenny, how could you say that? Absolutely, Brian. Absolutely. I say, what a day. Kenny, Brian, hi, guys. Going to be very interesting few weeks. I think this Ineos have been preparing for this day and have the discussions with the managers they want. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see in regards to that, Grayo. Big up. Big up, Grayo. Big up, of course. Elite Baller. Big up, Elite Baller. How you doing, my friend? Link is in the description, guys. The link is in the comments, guys. If you want to come on, Elite Baller, you're welcome, mate. If you want to have your say, anyone want to have their say, they're more than welcome, of course, guys. They are more than welcome. Smash the likes, guys, for Sal. Big up, Elite Baller. Big up, my friend. Absolutely. We did say double pivot. He might still have a job, Elite, if he played the double pivot. Glazner, Frank, I'll ask. Big up, GK. I'm back, Sal. The topic's so raw. I feel I have to resolve these issues to talk about. Big up, Jim, my friend. I hope you're doing well, brother. Zaid, we're free. Right, the decision should have gone after the final. Yeah, most likely. But you know what? hindsight's a beautiful thing, Zayed. You know, hindsight is such a beautiful thing, isn't it? Ruud is okay, man. Ruud will be interim manager. Ruud will be interim manager, guys. He is going to be the interim manager for Manchester United going forward. But one thing I don't want to do, right? I don't want us to make the same mistake as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't want Ruud going on this coincidental, amazing run of winning football matches. He's given a contract, and then, you know what? It goes downhill again. I don't want that. You know, I want us to stop making those silly mistakes that we have been making over the last few years. We need to get the best in class. And we know what the best in class is. I want Amarin, I want Nagelsmann. You know, I mean, those type of names should be in there. You know, definitely Amarin is on top of my list. You know, someone like that. Sal, who are the Oracle as you day? You said it. Big up, Rasta. We blessed the timeline, didn't we, Rasta? Big up, Rasta. You know what? Things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. You know what? We hope so, Rasta. And you know what? You told me the story about your family member and stuff like that, about, you know, about Manchester United and that. You know what? It resonated. It resonated. But you know what? We're gonna be back. We're going to be back, guys. Manchester United will be back, of course, from the doldrums that we have been for the last few years, of course. Ten Hag, thanks, man. Please take Anthony with you. Yeah, Anthony as well. Some of these players need to go. We have to buy wingers in January and a left back. Agree. Maybe if they listen to me in the summer, we might not be in this position, of course, guys. Rasta, as of this day, you are the oracle we spoke about 3 hours ago. Rasta, I said weeks ago that Erik ten Hag will, if he doesn't beat West Ham on Halloween, is the time. It's the time. And it was. Lo and behold, it was the time. Absolutely. Definitely, you know, I sort of had from good authority that it would be the West Ham game. So I did say last week that if we lost to West Ham, I'll be Ten Hag out. Thankfully, I've never had to be Ten Hag out. Who wins this one, guys? Who wins this one now? Pick up. Agree to sell. Big up, Jim. Are you doing well? EPL position was the reason behind parted out. Basically results. It's a results game business. GK, it's a results business, and you have to get the results, of course. Absolutely, you have to get the results, of course. I gave you a shout out on Mark's stream. Big up, Jim. Thank you, mate. Mark Goldbridge or Mark N. Which one? There's many Marks. Which one, Jim? Big up, Jimbo. Adriana, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Best of luck to Erik ten Hag. Next chapter needs to be different, though, or we will be stuck in a Groundhog Day. We now have yet another manager legacy players, which cost money. Adriano, love the comment. You see, look, this is the type of comment I like. You know what? Balanced. You know, comes out with smart comments. You know what I mean? I like that. You know, I really like them type of smart comments, man. Big up, Adriana. Thank you so much for joining me today, you legend. Thank you. Absolutely. Great out, Elite Baller Rasta. Nice to see everyone, of course. The legends in the chat, of course, guys. Big up, Adriano, of course. I'm cautiously optimistic about not celebrating until the last 7 players are sold. Bruno Maguire, Casemiro, Dalot, Maguire, Shaw, Rashford, and Lindelof gone. Jim Watkins, we need to take charge of Manchester United, and we need to go to Manchester United and sell those players. You know what? They sacked another manager. Congratulations. Those players have sacked another manager. Well done. You know, absolutely brilliant. Well done. I hope they're proud of themselves. Also need to bite the bullet and ditch Rashford. Sure, absolutely. It needs ruthlessness now. It needs ruthlessness. Absolutely. Any best of class, we look for in the class when he takes over this team as of now. Best of class. Who's going to be the best of class at the end of the day? Who's going to be the best of class? The cancer of needs to go. I want a world-class manager also and a new structure with discipline at a club. Me too, Jim. Me too. We need someone who requests. Mark, hi, mate. Big up. Absolutely. Man City players winning. What about Carvajal? Yeah, another one. Absolutely, another one. Yeah, absolutely. Let me get my friend Elite Baller on, man. What's going on, brother?
How you doing, mate? You okay?
Well, you know what? Maybe if they listen to us, Elite Baller, maybe some people might have jobs still, you know?
Exactly. What I want to say straight off the bat is thank you, Mr. Ten Hag, for the 2 trophies that you won in our time. Exactly. Thank you for memories such as beating Barcelona. But unfortunately, towards the end, it just seemed like the same mistakes were getting made over and over. And obviously, it was only going to be a matter of time, wasn't it, before Ineos did this, because they were under so much pressure. from the fan base for so long now. It was always going to happen, but I do truly believe that they gave him the benefit of the doubt. They gave him the chance. They backed him financially. But now when you look at us, where we are in the league, you have to do something, because we can't be in this position as Man United. I'm not saying we should be winning trebles or anything like that, but at the very least, you expect us to be higher up in the league, don't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the final now in the coffin is West Ham. West Ham is a terrible defeat. West Ham have been awful this season, and the team selection again was off, again, and we knew it was a bad team selection. We knew it at the time, but he wanted to pick that team. But as you said, I say that thank you, Erik ten Hag, as you said, because. You know what? I was very enthusiastic when Erik ten Hag took charge of Manchester United. I was excited. I thought that he was gonna do big things at Man United, especially after the first season. It was brilliant. Winning us the Carabao Cup, getting the feel good factor back. And unfortunately, it's not worked out for him. But one thing I wanna say is that I hope some of those players are proud of themselves. Because they've sacked another manager. Another manager's out the door. Hopefully they don't throw our legend Ruud van Nistelrooy, which it looks likely to be, under the bus. Hopefully they don't do that. What's going to be funny is that those players I can guarantee you, they will go on an amazing run now. They will go on an amazing run, 4, 5, 6 games winning run, and then you're going to see the real true character of this team. There's news about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, bruv. Come on. I
don't believe that. I think that's
can't
true.
be, mate. No. It can't be. We can't have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer again, man. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And we got to learn from our mistakes.
I think I've just got a feeling it's going to be Xavi, because I think the way they look at it, which is the same way I do, is that really he was at Barcelona at a really bad time for them. They had a transfer ban, if I recall. They weren't allowed to spend much money. They were getting crap players in like Ferran Torres, mate, and Adama Traore and Aubameyang, and he wasn't backed. He still won them a league, and really, he's the kind of manager who can be around for a long time, and you can build a legacy with a club. And it should have been at Barcelona, but unfortunately, they weren't. They were impatient with him, and they got rid of him. So I can see why they would be interested in Xavi. I just think it depends on how well Ruud van Nistelrooy does, because let's say he does really well, then no one knows where we're going to end up. He may become the permanent one. I know we did that with Ole, and maybe it was a mistake, but this could be different for all we know.
It could be, and do you know what? Nothing I would want more than someone like Ruud van Nistelrooy coming in and absolutely killing it and winning loads of games and giving the permanent job. That would be perfect for us. It'd be cheaper for Ineos as well. Of course, They will love that as well. But Xavi's an interesting one. Of course, he's going to be judged on his tenure at Barcelona. Obviously lost to Erik ten Hag in the Europa League, of course. Tactically, he's spot on. He knows what he's doing. I just got the feeling that Erik ten Hag, right, at the weekend, we were really good in the first half. We should have scored 3 or 4 goals, of course. That's not his fault. But when Lopetegui, he changed the formation of West Ham, right? And he brought on Todibo and he brought on Somerville. And after that, Erik ten Hag didn't have an answer. Yeah. He didn't know how to change it up. Like, if that was Sir Alex Ferguson or a competent manager, I wouldn't say competent, because ten Hag is competent, but I'm just saying that if we had a manager like Alex Ferguson, he would have changed it up as well and realized what's going on. It just seems that sometimes ten Hag was too simplistic, and he had one plan and that was it. The second plan he didn't have. I mean, we've been crying out for the double pivot, mate.
Exactly.
For ages. Remove Bruno. Bruno's a poison, mate. Bruno is a poison, mate. Yeah. And we've been saying it for a long time. If Ruud, I really hope Ruud van Nistelrooy drops him, man. I really hope so.
That's the first thing he needs to do. But I reckon the fact that Ten Hag started putting Ugarte on the bench, I think that would really have pissed off Ineos, to be honest with you, because they spent ages trying to get him, dealing with bloody PSG, who are an absolute nightmare, and then you go around and you start dropping him for big games. It's just, I reckon they're they're saying he's insulting us. He's taking the piss out of us. We bought him this player for a decent wedge of money, and he's not even playing him. And it's not like we've got loads of different options, is it? Just let him settle in and just see what he can do. Stop taking him out of the squad. So I don't reckon that would have sat well with any of us, mate. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I agree, because and the other night, he saved Erik ten Hag. In
Yes.
that challenge in that game, and he had a man of the match performance. You know what I mean? So to drop him against West Ham, I think was scandalous. I mean, Eriksen's a good player. Eriksen's a great pro, right? I know that, but he's not a number 8. Right. And yes, he gives nice little touches here and there, but he's not going to trap back. He's not going to tackle. He's not going to do anything like that you need to do in that number 8 position. It was crying out for Ugarte and Casemiro. And if that happened, I guarantee you right now, he'll still be the manager of Manchester United. We would have won that game. We would have won that game quite easily. But the chances we missed, we need to. Garnacho missed a great, fantastic chance. He needs to develop technically, definitely, on his finishing and stuff. Bruno, he's made the same header about 12 times since he's been at Manchester United. I don't know how many times he's bloody missed the target from spot right on that position. Exactly the same scenario happened against West Ham. No, not West Ham, Tottenham Hotspur a year ago. Exactly the same. Rashford, another 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10 for him yesterday. Again, I'm fed up with hoping that Rashford turns up. I'm tired of hoping that he's day. I'm tired of hoping that he's got out the right side of bed this morning. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm fed up with it, to be honest. If Erik ten Hag goes, what will make it sweet is if some of those players have gone as well or dropped, I'll be happy, because you know what? They're serial losers, mate. They're serial losers. They've got nothing in their head apart from losing. Yes, they win the odd cup here and there, but so do Wigan and so do teams like that. Do you know what I mean? But we need to challenge for the league, and we're not challenging for the league. And I think about 7, 8 of those players need to go. How do you feel about Rashford and those type Brunos and stuff? I know how you feel about Bruno, but Rashford.
Well, I'm willing to give Rashford the benefit of the doubt always, for the simple fact that I know that he can score goals. The moment that he stops scoring goals and doesn't contribute anything, then I will call him out. But at the end of the day, Rashford gets treated differently to Bruno. This is what we have to understand. Rashford got subbed off, mate. Yeah, Bruno never ever gets subbed off, regardless of his form, because for some reason Ten Hag just thinks he's going to pull something out of the bag and just keeps him on. But please let me remind everyone, the last kick of the game, in the game before Ten Hag got sacked, West Ham, was Bruno with the ball. Everyone's in the box. They're waiting for the cross. The cross comes in. It's crap. It evades everyone and goes out for a goal kick. And it's so many times like that, where he just does stupid things in the dying seconds of the game when you need him to have common sense and just do something good, and he just doesn't do it. He's not capable, mate. And this is our captain, and we can't have passengers in this team. We cannot have passengers. So Rashford should get subbed off when he's been poor. No problem with that. But then so should Bruno, mate.
Bruno's been poor for months. I'm talking about over a year now. When you can highlight his good bits, like they still stick in your mind. It's still the FA Cup final pass to Mainu was the only good bit he's done in the last year, and we live off that. We live off that. If he was at Real Madrid, Man City, any one of those clubs, he would have been dropped a long time ago. He's not captain material. He's not sort of guy one in the trenches with me. He moans, he blames. He's not going to improve young players. He's not going to influence and inspire young players. That one at the end. It's not the first time he's done that. He's always done that. Every time it gets to about 5 minutes to go, what, we're about to lose the game, he does something stupid. And he'll do some long range shot, stroke cross, which goes miles over the bar, and I'm fed up with it, to be honest. And you know what? And managers going to get the blame, of course. And I'm not sure about you. People were saying that there was lots of rumors going around that Dalot missed that chance on purpose.
I don't know about that.
I look at the technique. Right? And that technique was so awful, right? That I actually believed it. But then I look at the fact that why would he do that to Ten Hag? Ten Hag's believed in him from the beginning. He's played him every single game, and they've, and I don't think he did. I just think it was a mistake at the end of the day. But that sort of quality is in our team still, mate. We still got that ridiculous we got the ability to miss chances like that. You can bring in bloody Ancelotti, Pep, whoever you want to bring in. You can't make those players score those goals, you know, and that's what I'm worried about.
What's funny, Sal, is that out of most of the games, yesterday was one of the few games where I wasn't really going to blame Ten Hag. The only thing he did wrong for me was not put Ugarte on the field. Apart from that, I could agree with most of what he did. Let's be honest, right? If we take those chances, we're winning that game 4-1, 5-1 or something.
And people are raving about him. See, he's back and blah, blah, blah.
So it's so ironic, isn't it? That the game where we actually have so many chances is a game that he gets sacked. But I think it's to do with the second half. Like you said, right? West Ham manager made changes, and those changes sort of destroyed our rhythm, right? That Somerville came on, he started running a lot, who didn't really have a clue. He didn't know what to do with him. And from then on, it was a bit scandalous for us. Do you know what I mean? And maybe they just think, he's not the kind of manager who knows what to do to get us out of a tricky position, you know? Maybe that's another thing.
Yeah, I think he only has one plan. This is the thing. He doesn't have a plan B. You know, Sir Alex Ferguson had a plan B. Even when we're losing to teams, you know, we don't seem to have that intensity there. You know, where getting about 4, 5, 6 people in the box is sort of intensity where we need to score. You know, I mean, look, what disappointed me yesterday, and you know what, when we went 2-1 down, Garnacho and Rashford started to do the things, not Rashford, he was off the pitch, sorry, but Garnacho started to do the things that he should have been doing in the first place. Started to cross the ball into the box, you know, and obviously Rashford came close with a header, you know. If I was Eric Ten Hag, I'd be drilling that into them again and again and again. Because last week it was Brentford, and we beat Brentford from a brilliant cross from Rashford. You know, and we need to do that more often, because there's no substitute for a good ball into the box. You know what I mean? Rather than running into blind alleys. And this should have been drilled into the players again and again. You know, get that ball into the box. Get it to Rasmus. This is what Alex Ferguson did with Robin van Persie when he signed for Man United. He said, you make sure you pass it to Robin van Persie. When you get the ball, you pass it. And this is what disappoints me, bro. This is what about Ten Hag.
In two, well, not 2 seasons, but in 1 season and I don't know what it is, maybe a quarter, Bruno's only assisted Højlund twice, mate. And this is supposed to be your leading chance creator, you know, the inspiration. He's only assisted Højlund twice. What the hell is Højlund supposed to do with that kind of service? It's just pathetic. And then what he'll do is he'll get these stupid social media fans having a go at Højlund when he's not even getting any service. I'm seeing people say, oh, I prefer to have Danny Welbeck over at Højlund. And I'm like, mate, shut up. You know what I mean?
Mate, you know what? You know, they just lack ball knowledge, mate. And that is what it is, because they don't watch the game. They watch the game with a grimace. They watch the game with a little bit of bitterness in them because they don't like him. I've heard people calling Rasmus Højlund a kid, right? A bum and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And, you know, these people see it. Rasmus sees it. As I told you, he's always on Instagram. He's responded to me once on Instagram before when I was showing him some love. You know, and these players, they see what's going on. This new generation, they're social media savvy. They know what's going on around the social media world. And you know what? When people are calling big platforms as well, are calling them names, bum and this and that and fraud, and you know what? It's disgusting. And today is a sorrow day for me, because I'm looking around the fan base and I'm not seeing any humbleness in regards to the Ten Hag outers. I'm not seeing anyone saying, you know what, it didn't work out. Best of luck to Eric Ten Hag. You know what, we move on. They're like, thank God, may you rest in piss and things like that. And you know, I'm seeing crazy things on this Manchester United arena. Do you know what I mean? And it's, you know, it's disappointing to see, because at the moment, you know, I don't think it was just about Ten Hag out. I think it was just about opinion, and it was just about an ego. And this is what's disappointing, because they're not going to change these people. They're not going to change. They're not going to suddenly start supporting Ruud van Nistelrooy. Once it goes tits upwards, hopefully it doesn't, but once it does for Ruud van Nistelrooy, they're all going to be on his back, the same as they are, you know, at the end of the day. And they're going to be throwing our manager at the bus, calling him a fraud and stuff like that, you know. And I felt like Ten Hag, right? I mean, people didn't want him from day one. I mean, a lot of people were upset because of Sancho, what Sancho did, that little sport brat, in my opinion. I don't care. At the end of the day, that guy is a sport brat, and I hope, I just hope he stays at Chelsea for the rest of his career. Hope we don't have him back. If Chelsea come below 14th, we have him back, don't we? So, you know what I mean? But, I'm just disappointed, mate. I'm very disillusioned in regards to everything. And I don't like celebrating people being sacked. I'm not happy. It's not a day of bloody celebration for me, and people are actually celebrating and popping champagne bottles and things like that. And it's like, my God, goodness me. Mate, we're going to be here in a year's time if we have that mentality.
It means that our club is doing badly if our manager's getting sacked. It's as simple as that. And I think the difference between you and myself is that we've seen this coming, but we didn't want to be right, whereas there's other people who wanted to be right. You see what I'm saying? Because obviously if we are right, then we lose another manager and then we have to start again. But what I am going to say is, we've alluded it to before, I'm going to take my hat off to Ineos, because the fact is they brought Ruud in, which no one would have predicted, no one. And now they've got the perfect interim manager. And I just think that's absolute genius, to be honest with you. They've done it very quietly, very subtle. And here he is. He's here ready to go. And you can see that he probably knew if something goes wrong with Ten Hag, I'm the guy. I'm the next guy. You can tell by his body language and how he's acted around the players. So I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what he can do with the squad, mate.
Yeah, I'm happy with Ineos. They've acted assertively, and you know what? No second guessing. They've done it quickly as well. The worst thing they could have done is wait for the Chelsea game. I would have given it to Halloween. I've always said after Halloween, after West Ham, that's it. He can't lose to West Ham. It's impossible. But he's lost to West Ham. So, you know what I mean? You have to applaud them, and it is the earliest we've ever sacked a manager as well during the season. So it's not an easy decision for them to make. They've had to pay him 17 million, of course, and I applaud them for that. Now it's the big decision of them. Now it's their big decision. Now, people are saying, I believe in Manchester United will win with Ruud van Nistelrooy. Loads of people are going to be supporting Ruud van Nistelrooy, myself included. Ten Hag out. Please, some players are really horrible too. I agree with Chichi. They are very horrible. Our future manager, Ruud van Nistelrooy, of course. Ruud, absolutely. Nothing but love for Ruud van Nistelrooy. Privileged to see him play as a player at Old Trafford, and seen him a couple of times at White Hart Lane, the old White Hart Lane. Erik ten Hag has always been outsmarted by managers in the second half. And this is what I was saying. And the Lopetegui change. That was the thing that sort of, probably was an eye raiser for Ineos as well, that he didn't have a game plan when they brought on Somerville and Todibo. We didn't create anything in the second half, to be honest with you. But you know what? It's not only that game. It's the Fenerbahce game. We should have won. It's that game. It's the Crystal Palace game. It's the Brighton game.
20.
Tottenham, 20. There's so many games in it. And even when people look at the Barnsley game when we won 7, but, the first 20 minutes, let's not get it twisted. We were getting dominated by Barnsley for the first 20 minutes. It's just that when we got the goal, they sort of collapsed and we started getting goals. It's not good enough. And I don't see any future in this team in regards to the team he's picking. There's no future in it. There's no future in Eriksen, Casemiro, and these players. There isn't a future. I know that, you have to play Casemiro as a CDM and stuff like that. But, Eriksen as that number 8, Bruno. There's no future in that, in my opinion.
There's no future in it, but I've got to say, on the flip side, that those two have been our best midfielders this season. Menu's been inconsistent and he's now injured. Bruno's been effing atrocious. Ugarte hasn't really been given much of a chance. Collier, again, not given much of a chance. So really, put it this way, mate, if it wasn't for Casemiro and Eriksen, God knows where we'd be in the league. Because Eriksen scored some crucial goals for us, mate.
It's just, the thing is just that, going forward in regards to, we should have had a structure by now of a young team, a young midfielder, a young attacking forward line that dominates games. We're not winning games with these players either. We're drawing or we're losing. And the thing is, Ten Hag should have had a settled team by now, and we haven't got a settled team. I mean, obviously, Eriksen's always going to be good. He's been around for, 20 years? You know what I mean? He's going to be the best player. He's technically better than all of them. I mean, and it was crying out for him to be in that number 10 position.
Of course
It was crying out for him. I bet you, if he was in that number 10 position yesterday with Ugarte and Casemiro, that game is 3 or 4-0. I guarantee you.
Exactly.
And this stupid Bruno rubbish. I don't know what people have seen him. He performed for the first year, and that's it. You know what I mean?
And it's not good enough. If he was just a normal, average squad player, fair enough. Come off the bench, do a job here and there. But he's not. He's the captain, mate. He's the most important player on that field. So it's not good enough to produce crap after game after game. It's not good enough, man.
It isn't good enough, and he's getting chance after chance. This is why I really hope that Ruud van Nistelrooy does drop him. He does drop him. I mean, we saw murmurs of it a few weeks ago when he was on the bench talking to Casemiro, like with his hand over his mouth and stuff like that. We saw certain things going on there, and we called it at the time. There's something going on there. There's some sort of, fallout there or something, So, look, you know what? Ruud van Nistelrooy, successful at Man United. I'm excited, bruv. I'm really excited. And now this is where the wheels come on for me. This is where we start getting excited and say, look, we got Ruud van Nistelrooy now. You know, of course, it's cautious optimism, but I'm really excited to have one of our own as the manager. I hope he succeeds. I really do. I really do hope he succeeds. And I hope that, we win the next few games. If I was Ineos, I wouldn't give a contract too soon, though. I'll wait to the end of the season. Then I'll give him a contract if anything, because we know what happened with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, didn't we? So
no, right.
We need to, as soon as we got a contract, they lost to Everton and teams like that. As soon as we gave them the contract, it's ridiculous. Got Rasta Stocks here as well. Big up, Rasta. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. First things first, big up Elite Baller. Big up
G.
Sal. I'm hiding at work, but I had to come up here and talk. So we spoke about this 3 hours ago, and you said this 3 hours ago. You said it 3 hours ago, and as I get to work, I got the notification. I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" And first thing first, I gotta give credit where credit is due. He did win us two trophies. I will have to give him his credit for that. Right? He did end our 6-year trophy job with the EFL Cup, and last season he won us the FA Cup. With Ineos, I'll say, I guess they had to do what they had to do because they have a plan to win the league in 2028. And I'm assuming, hey, listen, they sat down with him this morning and let him know. All I got to say is some of these players that are not performing, bro, they need to eat, live, and sleep on that bench. Yeah. Right? Ahmad, I say Ahmad needs to get a start. And what's the name of that young left back again? I can't remember his name.
Harry Amas.
Amas. I think he deserves a start.
Yeah.
And Elite Baller, I think you and Elite Baller said something about him not playing Manuel Ugarte. I think that right there was like the icing on the cake.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's like Elite Baller said, they went tick for tat with PSG to get this guy, and they got him, and you're not playing him, and I kind of agree. Like as far as Bruno Sal, yeah, we take the captaincy from Bruno, take it from him, because he's too. We don't need an emotional captain. We need somebody that's going to be serious, cutthroat, and ruthless. That's why I say Roy Keane is my captain. But hey, there's only going to be one Roy Keane. But just to ask you an Elite Baller this, right? I think I asked Sal this morning. Elite Baller, who you think is captain material in the squad?
Martinez, if he can sort his injury problems. De Ligt. I think I've seen more in De Ligt since he's been here as a potential captain than I've seen in Bruno all season. So those would be my first two. From there on, it gets a bit sort of sticky. But yeah, I would say those two are good examples of players that could do a better job than Bruno, mate.
All right, so like me, I'm kind of iffy on Rashford, but I'll like if Elite Baller said I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for sure. But other than Rashford, who you think should start more in the number 10 role?
Is that for you? I think Ericsson should start at the number 10, or Xerxes should start at the number 10 for me. 100%. I mean, at least try something different. That's the problem. He wasn't trying anything different. He was trying the same tactics over and over again. And you know, he had one plan, and you can't have one plan in football. You need to have other plans. And when the Patigi made that change at halftime, he had no answer for the change. You know, he didn't know what to do. He's tactically inept on that game. You know, and that's sad to see. We've been screaming out for the double pivot with Xerxes or Ericsson up front for. At the number 10 role for a long time. Me and Elite Ball have been on it for ages.
Well, I gotta say, we play Leicester City in the EFL Cup. We just gotta see what Ruud does. To be honest with you, to me, that game right there is gonna be the test. That is gonna be the breaking of the ice, and see what he could do. Because I don't know, I never watched any of him coaching PSV Eindhoven or whatever, but I remember as a kid Ruud being a dangerous striker, especially against Arsenal and a few other teams. But yeah, man. But back to my question I put in the comment, then I have to go. For you and Elite Baller, who you think is going to be the next permanent manager?
For me, I hope it is someone that hasn't managed a Premier League club before. That's what my stance has been all the time. I hope it's not someone who's managed Arsenal or manager. I know Emery's a good manager, but I don't want any Arsenal rejects or Chelsea rejects, anyone like that. I want someone like an Amarim, someone like an Nagelsmann, you know, someone like that who can manage a club. Or if not, I hope that Ruud van Nistelrooy succeeds, you know, and he does well at Manchester United. He did very well at PSV, but that is the Dutch league. You know, we have to take that with a pinch of salt, you know. I do believe that he is a better manager in regard man manager than Erik ten Hag, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Yeah. I think you can see that from his body language when he's on the pitch. He's the only one fighting with the referees, you know, etc. You know, when De Ligt had to come off the pitch last week when he had a cut head, it was Ruud van Nistelrooy at the forefront of everything, you know, shouting at the referee, etc. That's what I want to see from my manager.
You got a yellow card for that, and I like that aggressiveness, that attitude, like that aura. And Ten Hag to me, he didn't have that attitude at that aura. Like I remember watching games. Ferguson will just look at players on the touchline, and they know they make a mistake, and the way he look at them, they correct the mistake. You know. But what about you? What about you, Elite Baller? Who you think?
So I was saying just before you came in, I was saying that I would take Xavi for the simple fact that I think he was unlucky at Barcelona. They had a bad time of it. They had bad transfers, didn't have much money. He's obviously available now. And I think that obviously Barcelona and Man United are very similar clubs. They've got a lot of heritage and culture and history. So if you can manage at Barcelona and win the league, you can manage it at Man United. So he would be my first choice. Because he's available. Once you try to get a manager who's already employed, it becomes a lot more difficult. You know, look how hard it was to get Dan Ashworth from Newcastle, and he's not even a manager. Yes. So yeah, I would go for Xavi.
It's definitely pulling teeth, man. Like, and I just want us to get out of 14th in the league. Like I'm just not comfortable of where we at in the league, but you know what? We just got to keep moving forward. The decision was made, and let's hold on a second. Sorry about that.
You know what? I just hope that the negativity goes away from the fan base. I mean, it doesn't help when other fan channels are saying that they're going to keep an eye on Erik ten Hag and do a hate along, watch along for every single Ten Hag game in the future. I mean, those sort of things, it just shows a lack of.
From you saying that, I have an idea. You know, I have an idea based on what you're saying, And I just look at it. You see, in our fan base, people always gonna say shit that that's gonna spew nonsense and stupidity. You know, people is always gonna say that. But as of for now, the ice already broke. Let's just see what happens. I hope we could catch up. I hope we would catch up because hey,
I mean, we've only played 9. We've only played 9 games. We can catch up. We beat Chelsea at the weekend. That's the start. You know, a good start if we can do that. And then we've got Arsenal in December.
yeah,
So you know what? There is an opportunity there. We're not a million miles away, which is good. You know, Ineos, you have to give them their credit. I mean, they've made the change early, so we can get back into the team. We're back into the league title race. You know, so yeah, let's see what happens. As you said, you know what? Some people. No, I've always been kind of like a sort of person who feels for people. You know, when they lose their job or when some adversity happens. You know, that's what I'm like. I don't like seeing people rubbing it in people's noses. Imagine you got sacked for your job or I got sacked for my job, and people are saying, "Look at you! I'm gonna watch you fail and stuff like that." It's not really a good thing, and not really a Manchester United sort of characteristic, if I'm being honest with you. You know, so I really hope that we're successful again. And you know what? They have nothing to talk about ever again. You know what I mean? Because Man United is successful, because I know they thrive off negativity. So you know what? Let's hope that Man United is successful. And you know what? What a comeback it will be if we go and qualify for the Champions League. What a comeback that would be. You know, it's still possible.
yeah, and anything is possible. But I I I agree with elite baller. I think we should get Xavi and see what happens. But hey, listen, until then, we just gotta work with what we got. But guys, I got to go. But it was good chopping it up with you guys here. Elite baller, big up yourself. Sal, you already know, big up yourself.
Big up,
And
bro.
Big up, Rasta.
yeah, man, I feel like the Leicester City match will be the real test. Let's see what these players are going to
Let's see
do.
what happens, man. Let's hope that we're in a better place in this time
Yes,
next month.
and I hope going forward, Ruud van Nistelrooy just bench some of these scrubs we got in the squad. He should just bench them. But let's see what happens.
Exactly, brother. Exactly.
All
Nice
right,
one,
guys.
bro.
Yep.
Take it easy, man.
Uh-huh.
That was Rasta Stocks. Big up, Rasta. Yeah, I agree with what he's saying, to be honest with you. I mean, look, you know what? At the end of the day, you know, those who's been supporting Man United for a very long time. I mean, most of my life, I was a child when I started supporting this football club. And you know what? The one thing that made me, lured me towards Manchester United in regards to the club and not any London clubs, because I'm from London, is the family atmosphere in the ground, the family atmosphere at the football club, the history of the football club. And it's very important that we as Manchester United fans stay classy. You know, we stay classy and we stay, you know, ahead of everyone else. Which is why we used to come to games in suits every single game, you know, because we're classy. You know, that's why we are. You know, we shouldn't be like those other teams. You know, we wish people the best of luck. It hasn't worked out. That's sad. And we're sad. We give him advice of how it could have improved. But you know what? It's onwards and upwards for Manchester United, and we go from there, elite baller, isn't it?
Exactly, mate. Going back to Xavi, right? Another reason is the Spanish connection, right? So the best manager in the world right now, without a doubt, is Pep Guardiola, right? Obviously Spanish, yeah. Spain just won the Euros with some unknown manager that no one's ever heard of before. I think the Dutch manager thing is it's not relevant anymore. Maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I think it's all about Spanish managers now. I think they've developed a style of play that is not only good on the eye, but is actually bloody effective and wins you games. So if Xavi can bring that kind of style to this team, we'll be cooking, mate. You know?
Why is that? Why do you think that Spain they produce such a great conveyor belt of managers? You know, I mean, as opposed to, English managers. What are they doing right? I mean, as you said, the Spanish manager, completely no one knew who he was when he, when he started managing Spain. And why is that? I mean, because we have the quality players. Like, for example, if I bring England into it, we have the quality players. We have better players than Spain, I think. And we don't play like them. And I'm wondering, like, you look at Emery, you look at Arteta, you look at Pep, and you look at Luis Enrique, you look at all these managers going around the world succeeding. Why do you think it is?
There's two reasons, mate. One of them, as funny as it's going to sound, is the weather. Obviously, they have much better weather than we do, so they get to go out and train much more easily and enjoy themselves in their lifestyle, right? The secondly is the culture. Now, we were talking about this the other day because we were saying that Spain, for example, they'd never have like a German manager for their national team. They just wouldn't do it. They would rather pick an unknown manager like they did and give him the benefit of the doubt and their support. We don't do that with English managers. We don't give them chances. Look at how long Chelsea had Potter there. Not very long. These people get pressure on them, and then he hasn't got a job since. So we basically destroy English managers in this country, whereas in Spain they build them up, mate.
So let's say, for argument's sake, hypothetically speaking, Eric Ten Hag's name was Bob Smith. And he's from Hensford, wherever, and he's managing Manchester United. Do you think he would have lasted as long?
Do you mean with the same amount of success as in with the 2 trophies as well?
Yeah.
That's a hard question, mate.
If he was Bob Smith, we got him from Kettering Town, an up-and-coming manager from Hensford, whatever, proper English manager, you know what I mean? I think they would have pulled the plug earlier, probably.
So do I agree.
They probably would have pulled the plug after the FA Cup final, even if he won it.
I agree with you, mate. And that's the problem,
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
They're not given the opportunity. But yeah, I would prefer a Spanish manager. I agree with that, Ali, because they just know what they're doing. They know tactically what they're doing. They know about triangles, about tiki-taka, as they say. Yeah. I mean, Xavi's the original tiki-taka, isn't it? So, I mean, it would be exciting. He would demand that respect because he has won Champions League. He's been part of the best team of all time, probably. You know what I mean? So he will demand that respect from the players. The only thing I want, and the most important characteristic I want from a manager, is ruthlessness.
Yeah.
Just want them to be ruthless, and that's it. And I want to see something I haven't seen before, which is no Bruno in the team. Dropping Bruno out of the team, for example. Just him. He dropped Bruno. That's it. Bruno's not playing. I'm happy with that. Do you know what I mean? That's all I want to see at the end of the day. Some bit of ruthlessness, something different, and not straight away, Leicester City, Bruno, Rashford, the same sort of team again. I'd be interested to see if it is Ruud, his team on Wednesday, to be honest. Is he going to pick a strong team? He probably will pick a strong team now because it is his first game.
Exactly. He'll want to do well, wouldn't he? The only thing about it's difficult to compare Rashford and Bruno, mate, because if you take Rashford out of the team, who do you put there? If Rashford's playing on the left wing, you can only replace him with Garnacho. Garnacho's starting games anyway. So all you've really got is Ahmad. And Ahmad's he's a decent player, mate, but I wouldn't say he's going to be the saviour of Man United. He's not going to be the game changer game after game. He's worth having in the squad, but I don't think he's like elite yet. So, but in terms of replacing Bruno, we've got loads of players who could replace him. You've got Eriksen, man, perfect person to replace him. We've said it weeks and weeks. Give Xerxes a try there. But no, he didn't do that, did he? He put Mazraoui there instead. And that's another nail in the coffin.
That is a big one, isn't it? That's one of Ineos probably looked at it and thought, wow, wow. We just purchased Xerxes. Right, and he's playing Mazraoui, a defender, as a number 10. Yeah, I mean, part of me feels like Eric Ten Hag wanted to sabotage himself when I saw some of those team selections. He probably might have wanted to leave, get the 17 million. I'm gone. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
that's it.
He probably got sick of all the pressure, mate. He probably got sick of all the pressure every game. Imagine that's you after every game, scrutinised, analysed, every single kick of the game. evaluated, spoke about on social media. It must be absolutely draining. Yes, you get paid a lot of money, but you're only still a human being. So the pressure that that guy was under must have been absolutely immense. And at some points, you would just want to walk out. You would just want to walk out. And I think he's done what he's needed to do to have that opportunity to walk out, but he's actually been sacked. So he gets the payoff as well. You see what I'm saying?
And I like that about it, though. I'm happy for him, to be honest. Take your pay, enjoy it, mate. You know what I mean? And I hope he does well. And I honestly, Ali, I'm going to be over the moon if he's successful. I really am. If he goes on and wins trophies, then it's going to show these players up. But what would your feeling be if we go on this ridiculous, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, 22 winning game run? Soon as Jose Mourinho left, we went on this ridiculous run. Coincidentally, you know what I mean? Goodness me. How would you feel? Do you think that would be just because of Ruud van Nistelrooy and tactics, or you think it's because those players have been down tooling?
I don't personally see it. I think there'll be a slight upturn. I think there'll be a better team spirit, but I don't expect Bruno to start scoring goals every week, mate. I just think he's almost at the end of his career now. I don't think he's got it in him to be consistent. So I don't see how we're going to go on a run like that, especially if Bruno plays every game. I think our squad's a little bit thin, if I'm honest with you. And also the fact that Ten Hag never played the same 11 meant that we were never consistent. So I think that's got to be one thing that Ruud or whoever the manager is, they've got to settle on a 11. And they play every game unless there's a problem or an injury, a suspension, or you need to tweak it slightly because of the other team. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to go on a massive run because I don't think we've got the squad to do that at the moment. I mean, the Mount problem is a massive problem now because, again, that's another option that you've got attacking midfield, isn't it? And he's never available. Shaw's never available. Malacia's never available. So that's 3 players right there who make our squad a lot thinner than it should be, you know?
Another thing as well, which I wasn't too a big fan of Eric Ten Hag, is that, you know what, sometimes if you haven't got a big squad, when you're winning games, 3-0, 7-0, whatever it is, bring on some young players, get them some experience.
Yeah.
You know, give them a 20 minutes, 15 minutes here and there, like Harry Amas, for example, players like that. Get them a little bit of experience, get them build up their strength a little bit. So when you are in that sort of situation where you've got no players, you've got injuries left, right, and center, you've got a young player who can just walk into the team who's played some football matches, and you know, and you know, it can't have been any worse. You know, it can't have been any worse. I honestly feel we got players in that youth team who could do a better job than Bruno right now. You know, the number 10 position. Yeah. You know, I mean, I don't know if Shea or Lacey can play there. There's players like that who can play in that position. You know, obviously Fletcher's been on the bench as well. I think just give him a chance, in my opinion. I think just and that's what he should have done. And if he'd done that, you know what, people will not only see that, oh, at least he's got a vision, he's looking to the future. Yeah. You know, they would also say that, you know what, he's brave and he's planning for the other games as well. If we haven't got a big squad, you know. But I would like to know, like, in regards to Luke Shaw, Tyrone Malacia, Mason Mount, you know, these type of players, the manager's not going to miraculously come into the football club and say, here you go, Shaw, you are healed. There you go. Start playing football. You know, it's not going to happen. You know, and obviously Eric Ten Hag's been playing without a left back for the last year almost. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he has to, and people are not seeing that, you know, and it is a big thing. It is a big thing because when you're imbalanced, the whole team shifts. I always bring in the Champions League final in 1999 when we had to move Giggs to the right and we had to move Blomqvist played on the left, Beckham ended up playing in the middle. And you see the imbalance in our team because Giggs is obviously a left footer and playing on the right, you know, and it imbalanced our team so much. You know, and you noticed it straight away because we were so used to seeing Giggs, Scholes, Keane, Beckham, you know, and it was a balance and stuff like that. And when you move a right foot into left back, and you know what? Dalot has been poor, by the way. He has been poor this last few weeks, And I called it out many times, you know, in regards to that, the left side, especially when he was playing at left back. He was absolutely atrocious, he's been, you know. But you know what? The balance is important. And you know that it may be if he had a bit more balance, maybe if he gave Harry Amas more game time, you know, someone like that, you know, and people will look at it and say, look, you know what? He's brave. He's given Harry Amas a chance. etc. But you know what? He'd rather play the imbalance, and he'd rather play Dalot as a left back. And I think ultimately that's what killed him in the end. And of course, Bruno, of course, playing every single game. As soon as Bruno comes back, you know what? Against Fenerbahce, right, we didn't play well, great, of course, but it is in Turkey, it is in Istanbul. But we played better when we, without Bruno. Completely played better without Bruno.
As I said in the last stream with Mark, we played against Liverpool at Anfield. Bruno was playing, we lost 7-0. The next season, Bruno was suspended and we drew 0-0, which is a massive improvement on losing 7-0. So I'd love people in the chat to tell me all the list of all the games that Bruno's played against the big teams where he's actually turned up, because I couldn't tell you one or two, mate. Honestly, it's a big game. He doesn't turn up. We said this before. If the team's playing well, Bruno looks $1 million. If we're playing crap, he's a ghost, mate. And he's so ineffective, mate. And it's not good enough, man. Let's not forget, he just got a pay rise as well. He just got a pay rise.
It's a new contract. The one thing I would say is that someone said it. I've forgotten who said it, but it's true. Bruno only plays well when he has to release the ball quickly, when he doesn't have time to think about it. When he has time to think about the ball, that's when he ain't got the brain to do, play it. But when, like, for example, that's why he worked so well in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system, because it was counter-attacking football and he had to get the passes quickly on the counter-attack, He's better when he has to pass the ball quickly than having to think about the ball. And that is Bruno to a T, to be honest with you. But, I don't know what we're going to do with him. We've just given him a new contract now. No one's going to buy him,
Well, just like I said to people, just because Ineos extended Ten Hag's contract doesn't mean they're not going to get rid of him. I was proved right about that. And I'm pretty much thinking I'm going to be proven right about Bruno. At the end of the day, I think Ten Hag is playing him more than most managers would. I don't think Ruud does this. Ruud knows what levels we need to be at. And if one player is not doing that, he's not going to keep playing him over and over again. He's not bloody stupid. He's not stubborn. He's worked under the greatest manager that's ever been in this country, mate. So, I would hope he doesn't repeat the same mistakes as Ten Hag. If he doesn't, oh my God, get Xavi in pretty sharp. But they can get Xavi now, can't they? He's not got a job, they can get him now. I mean, I would do it if that's their plan of getting Xavi. But it depends if Xavi wants to start straight away. I mean, some managers like to start in the summer, a fresh new leaf and stuff. But you know what? I think they should just be assertive with what they want to do. If they want Xavi, go and get Xavi now. Get him managing the team now. Set up for next season, and we'll be back next season. And let's go from there. He is a more talented. I mean, I'm saying it like from what I've seen. He is a more talented manager than Ruud van Nistelrooy. He knows what he's doing. He's managed Barcelona, for crying out loud. Yeah.
And won the league. I mean, against that very good Real Madrid side, by the way. The only thing, obviously, is that he lost to wild horses, Manchester United. I mean? That is what plays in my head all the time. It's always in my head. People are saying Thomas Frank. I mean, having watched him get scored by McKenna at the weekend, they were lucky to get a penalty in that game as well. It wasn't a penalty for Brentford at that time. A really poor decision. Another poor decision at the weekend for Manchester United, by the way. This Michael Oliver and sinister stuff. What's going on? He's a corrupt referee, mate. I don't know what you make of him, but he's definitely corrupt. There's something wrong. I mean, definitely. I mean, there was a handball before the actual foul. It wasn't a foul. The referee was actually looking at it about 10 times. He looked at it, trying to convince himself it was a foul because he doesn't want to contradict his superior. And that's what it is. What do you make of that episode situation?
That penalty was an absolute joke, mate. The guy was bloody falling over before he got anywhere near our player.
He was for it.
But exactly, that's what you said during the watch along, and I agree with you 100%. And it's just crazy, isn't it? Because really, that penalty is probably the reason why Ten Hag got sacked at the end of the day. So it shows you how critical these decisions are. But he was always going to get sacked, mate. I keep coming back to this. It was always going to happen. It was a matter of time. We've seen so many sort of dire performances. And Ineos gave him the benefit of the doubt. They funded him. They bought players to suit his system. But I'm going to just keep coming back to it. I just think a lot of it's down to do with Bruno and the captain. If one player plays every game regardless of form, that's a massive problem. It is a massive, massive problem, especially your captain. So I don't know. I don't know what Ruud's going to do. I hope he sees what we're seeing, mate. I hope he does.
I mean, because at the end of the day, like, it's no coincidence that there were times on the watch-alongs that we were predicting what the game was going to end, and we were getting it right because it was so predictable, that, what was the game against 20? Obviously, it was 1-0 at halftime, and then I said they're going to equalize, they probably equalize. And they did, and it was getting too predictable, to be honest with you. I do hope that Ruud van Nistelrooy learns from the mistakes of Erik ten Hag, and we go from there, Although, I don't know if Ineos are going to keep him. I personally think if they're not going to keep him, just get Xavi now. Just get Xavi now, and we move from there. You know what? I think it'd be good. It'd be good to have someone like him at the club, someone who's got a bit of knowledge, played for an elite club, won trophies, won a World Cup, won a European Championship.
Yeah.
It'd be good. It'd be good,
it would
mate.
Be massive. It would be massive, mate, because what it shows you that we can still attract, he's a proper name in world of football. Xavi, everyone knows Xavi, mate. He's probably one of the best midfielders that's ever been. He played with Iniesta, again, one of the best midfielders you've ever seen. He appreciates players like Scholes, and he knows about keeping the ball and midfield play and not being erratic and dominating. He's exactly what we need. He's the antidote to the football that we've been playing under Ten Hag and under Bruno, unfortunately. So I'm really excited to see if Xavi does come, what he can do. Until then, I think Ruud's going to obviously be there for the Leicester game, and it's going to be so interesting to see what team he picks, isn't it?
It is, really. It is. I do think he's going to go strong because obviously he's not going to play a load of youngsters, lose his first game. He wouldn't want to do that. So I think he will go strong. I think he'll probably play the first team against Leicester. We'll probably win that game. You know what? I'm a bit enthusiastic now. I think we're going to win both games. I think we beat Leicester and beat Chelsea. I think we're going to win both games. And then, all the fans basically going to get giddy singing, you know what I mean? Ruud van Nistelrooy, la, 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 la.
I will. I certainly will, Sal.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. Elite Baller, that's been good having you, man. I'm going to close up the show. Thanks for coming on, brother, as usual.
You take care, man. Have a good day, and we'll speak soon, bro. Yeah?
Take it easy, man. Cheers. That was Elite Baller, as usual. Legend with the gospel of chat, of course. Very good conversation with him, as usual, my friend. Absolutely. Talking about Xavi is flexible. Jim, unfortunately, Ten Hag became the fall guy, which is sad, and we know the problems go deeper than you sweep them under the carpet, which if you don't clean your house, the dirt will rise up again. Absolutely. Good analogy, Jim. Spot on. Xavi is probably our best option at the moment. Yorkshire, I hope you're doing well, my friend. Yeah, at the moment, I think he is. Absolutely. Go replace Eric, please. We trust you, Ruud. You know the club well. You know the history. You are part of the history. You know how to win the title. Let's hope so. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, knew how to win the title and Champions League. Let's not forget. You know how that ended. News coming. Ruud will manage. Yeah, big up, of course. Nice one, EB. Nice one, everyone. Don't forget to follow Elite Baller on YouTube, guys. All day long. Very good person. Big up, Yorkshire. Big up, everyone, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. You know what? It's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new life. Manchester United have a new era coming up, starting tomorrow, guys. What can we do but support the football club? That's what I say, and support the new manager. Up the Reds. Come on, United. Glory, glory, Man United. You know what? It's a drama, isn't it? Man United are like EastEnders. That's what they're like. But you know what? Hopefully it's a happy ending. Take it easy, guys. I'm Sal Warner. This is Stretford Post. I'll see you tomorrow. For Breaking Dawn. Take it easy.